Welcome to the Atlantum Edge podcast at the Atlantum Alliance Villa here in Dubai, where we talk about health, longevity, and human well-being. In this episode, we are speaking to Tamara Bin Ladin, the founder and CEO of the Age Square. That is the first daycare for seniors, which I find is an incredibly fascinating concept that is much needed. And we've been talking so much in these episodes about community and loneliness and how much health is based around community and feeling a sense of purpose and belonging. So I want to hear your story, how you came up with this concept and how you are running it.
Thank you, Oscar, for having me. Elder Square started as a need, that I saw throughout my time here in Dubai. And, seniors, in any culture, seniors are a pillar of the society, whether it's to pass down knowledge, whether it's for people just to live, in society. And in Dubai, previously, if you go back a decade ago, you didn't see, or even 20 years ago, you didn't really see a lot of seniors here because Dubai was new and it was attracting a lot of young people to come to work, and people would spend their, a few years of their life here and then go back home. And over the years, I've been seeing a lot more people moving here. The population is growing, and there are seniors coming with them. The thing is that they're all hidden. So you don't know where they are. You know that they're here. Your friend's mother is in town for 3 months, but you hardly see her. You go to the mall, you don't see seniors around, whether that's Emirati seniors or Western seniors.
Everyone is just working all the time, I suppose.
Yeah.
Or stuck in traffic.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And so for the seniors, I felt like there was no place for them to come to. Dubai wasn't designed for a senior or an aging population. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't mean that there wasn't a need, and it doesn't mean that they didn't exist. Whether it is someone coming in for 3 months on a tourist visa, or whether it is a resident that's aging, where they hit 60, 65 plus. So I really saw that there was a need. But I can't really say that, this was, there's a story, a magic story behind where the concept came from. It really was just inspiration, a divine inspiration that I woke up one day and I said, this is a need and I'm gonna solve the problem.
So what is the problem exactly, and what is the service you're providing to solve it?
Well, Elder Square started as a concept where it was a center where both the seniors and their families can relax. So the senior would come in. We have a seniors club, so we take care of them. We don't do residential. It's not overnight. From 9 to 5, where they come in and we will take care of their emotional, social, physical, and cognitive needs. And then, of course, for the families, that, gives them a bit of a break on wondering how to take care of what to do with their mother or father at home.
But how is this different from any social club? Like I used to be a member of the Capital Club. That sounds like it's a seniors club in a way. You show up and they have a few programs, but it's mostly a bunch of old people there.
Well, yeah. It's an entire program where it's customized to what your needs are.
Yeah.
So we'll sit with you. We'll sit with your family member, whether it's your daughter or your son, and find out what part of your life you want to work on. So if it's your physical needs, we'll work on that. We'll highlight that in our program. If it's, you're starting to lose your memory, we'll focus on that as well. And everything that we do is evidence-based and therapeutic activities. So we do have the Seniors Club, and we're also a polyclinic. So it's also the first geriatric center for seniors.
So there's a health club element to it, and you have personal trainers there as well?
Exactly. Physiotherapists, so we have physiotherapists, we have nutritionists, we have a homeopath, of course a geriatrician, and we're bringing on now neurologists and cardiologists and so on, because we wanted it to be a one-stop shop and, to fulfill the entire 360 bubble for the senior. So that would be, of course, their healthcare, their social life, and it's also a community hub where they can come in on the weekends and socialize even more with their friends, or even people that aren't even seniors.
And where are you located?
In Jumeirah 1.
Jumeirah 1. Where exactly there?
Yeah, right behind Village Mall.
Very cool. And you're planning any more locations?
That is the plan. Yeah, that is the plan.
Across
down
the
line.
GCC?
Yeah, across the GCC. Yeah.
Tell me, what does the package looks like? Can you come just one afternoon, or do you have to be a member?
Yeah, so we do have attendance packages. So when I first started, I basically implanted the Western model, and that didn't work. We really, over the past 2 years, have really fine-tuned our offering to, adapt to Dubai's multicultural residents and visitors. So what we did was you can either come 1 day a week, 2 days a week, 3 days a week, or daily, depending on how severe your requirements are, or your concerns are. Yeah.
What if you don't have any health concerns? I mean, my father he's in his mid-80s now, and he's part of many social clubs, but he doesn't have any health issues that he needs any active support with. There must be a lot of many elderly that just need the social component.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, from our members, we have the entire range. We have people who have, let's say, mid to high dementia, and then we have people like your father who's absolutely physically and cognitively fine. So it depends on the group and the timings and the sessions that we would put them in.
Is it difficult to mix these people? I think someone like my father, he would be quite offended if he if I would suggest to him to come to some elderly
100%.
facility and hang out with some half-demented people.
Yes, 100%, which is why, depending on each person's ability, we group them into their peer, with their peers.
And how about dating? I mean, there must be a lot of widows and widowers that are looking for someone to partner up with.
We do a dine and date night, so they can bring a friend, and meet other people at the dine and date night.
If there are any wealthy women there, I could come.
You're too young. You're too young still.
Is there such a thing as being too young?
Well, hit 60, 65, and then
that's the qualification.
Yes,
I can get a fake ID.
Yes. But it's been such a journey, I mean, delving into a niche that hasn't been done here before. So the Emirati government has done such a great job taking care of their Emirati seniors. They take care of them from A to Z.
And they live with their families. I mean, just like the Italians and the Southern Europeans. I mean, when you live with your family and you have connections to your grandchildren.
Yeah, but it still does get lonely. And I think when dementia starts creeping in, I think also families don't know how to handle that, and that's not something that any one of us is taught. We've all been children, we've all been teenagers, so we can, deal with that. And, by saying, oh, we've been there, done that, we know exactly what they're going through. But we've never been 80, so understanding or being able to relate to that journey is something that I think even the seniors look at us as, like we can't really fathom the experience that they're going through. So given that the Emiratis are taken care of, the majority of the population here, and it's a growing demographic. Is
do you know how big the demographic is and what the average age of Emiratis are?
No.
I imagine it must be quite high, since they have healthy lifestyles and they don't drink alcohol. And
no, they don't drink alcohol. I wouldn't say their lifestyle is very healthy. The UAE ranks one of the highest in obesity in the GCC, right? So I think, but even given that, the thing is that it doesn't matter what your culture is, or how much money you have, or how many friends you have. Ultimately, the loneliness hits everyone. When you're 80, 90 years old, alone at home, going through dementia.
So, I mean, loneliness at any age is very dangerous.
Yes.
I mean, like, and now, I want to hear what you think about, AI, people having relationships with AI girlfriends and AI therapists. I really question how effective that is, because I think that simply having the human presence, even if you're not communicating, means so much. Like going to a cafe and just being around people
Yeah.
means so much. It's not necessarily the the information that's exchanged.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like everything else. It's an artificial relationship, whether it's an artificial, I mean, that's really what's happening, right? I mean, the world today is becoming, they're taking anything that should be natural
Yeah.
and healthy, and then they're turning into something that's artificial, and then saying that the two are equivalent, and they're not.
And then they'll say research shows that it's just as good as something real.
Yes,
Like,
yeah.
where did you get that research?
Yeah, wait 50 years and then tell us, right?
I mean,
It's-
even like there's I think it's definitely true that people suffering from depression have more support often from a pet than from a friend. It's just like you need a physical companionship as well, which
Yeah.
is what we're programmed for.
100%. We're social beings, right?
Yeah.
And so, and I think for the seniors in Dubai, it's especially isolating because the city is not designed. I mean, it hasn't gotten there yet. You know, they've taken care of the government has taken care of the Emirati seniors, but now there is a whole other demographic of Western seniors that live here, and that now they're starting to tackle that, you know, and it's just a matter of time where hopefully things are put into place sooner rather than later to care for their mental health, their mobility in the sense of getting around the city. How do you do that when you have dementia? You know, it's not easy to just flag a taxi and then tell them where you're going when you even have a hard time speaking. So there's a lot of things where AI and technology can come into play when it comes to making a senior's life easier here.
I've been hearing recently from different people that there's a push to make Dubai and also Saudi become retirement destinations. And I want to talk to you a little bit about that, because I guess if that is to be accomplished, you'll play a big role in that. But I want to start with the challenges, really. This demographic or this structure of society is not built for old people. Even myself, if I have my wife and children in Sweden, and if I have a long weekend here and I'm alone, I don't know what to do. Like, there's nothing to do here except work, really. And if you go out and do something, there's something to do in a mall or getting entertained by doing some sort of an activity. There's very few opportunities to just walk out on the street and to a park and meet people and hang out. And even when you meet friends, I don't have many anymore, but it's typically like, let's meet and have a drink. I mean, something that really irritates me to no end. I mean, I have a very big home where I have a balcony and a big living room, and I invite friends that I've known for years. It's like, why don't you come over for breakfast or come over for dinner? Let's just meet at my place and have a nice time. And it's always like I'm some creepy person inviting somebody to my home. As maybe I am, but I sort of find it so strange that it's not socially acceptable to do anything other than meeting at a restaurant or at a bar, or at a cafe.
Yeah.
And it's never fully relaxed.
And you're young. Imagine for the seniors, it's even harder for them because they're completely reliant on their children, you know, who are busy with their lives trying to meet, you know, other people, taking care of their kids.
You sort of like, it's a cultural thing to, like, I think Dubai, it's an advantage and a fault that everything is so commercialized. Which is my point. Like, I invited people for the barbecue this evening at this wonderful villa we have here at the Atlantic Villa. And it's not one, several people have asked, is there a formal invitation or a link? It's like, are you kidding?
Yeah.
Like, you can't invite anyone to a barbecue anymore without there being some sort of a formal sign-up link.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, what plays a part in that are the different layers of people here. You know, I think if you go back to the people that have been here 10, or more years, they're not the ones that are looking for the link, you know. It's, I think, the
Yeah.
younger generation and the ones that just moved here, and that's what they're getting, like what you were saying about, you know, life here being a bit commercialized, where, you know, this is what they expect because that is what they're used to, or what they've seen, that layer, you know, is what they've seen here. Yeah.
So tell me more about building a destination, a retirement destination. Now I've been ranting enough about it.
Yeah.
But what is it that would be required to make it attractive for people to actually move from Europe and place their parents here? I mean, seniors, old age homes anywhere in the world, in the US or the UK, are atrociously expensive. Would they necessarily be more cost effective in the Middle East? And if you don't have the infrastructure, social infrastructure of people naturally coming together, that's quite a big obstacle to overcome to make it attractive.
Yeah, I think, I mean, to start, I think that the UAE has the setup correct.
Yeah.
To have this fall into place. I don't think that they're there yet. You know, it's not something that they've considered. But in terms of supporting initiatives like this, 100% they're supporting it. They launched the retirement visa, you know, not just the golden visa, but the retirement visa. But that only hits a certain bracket of individuals where you have to invest a certain amount and so on. And there are a lot of people here that don't fit that category to be able to get the retirement visa. But the parts that are missing is definitely health insurance. That's something that we hear all the time.
It's so expensive.
It's so expensive.
So how do we
if they
overcome
even
that?
get eligible,
Yeah.
you know, if they're even eligible for health insurance, that's something. So this is why when it comes to senior care, it has to be a government private sector collaboration. I can't do this on my own. Nobody can do it on their own. You know, the government has to provide certain things like health insurance. It has to provide maybe discounts for not just for Emirati seniors, but also for expat seniors with their Emirates ID, you know, for residents. I mean, all the mechanisms that they've put in place for the Emirati seniors now just have to be applied to the expat seniors. It's really that simple. But I don't think they've gotten to the point where they're doing it yet. They do know that there's a need. And I've actually been approached by many people where they are interested in doing health and longevity, especially for seniors, in terms of preventative. Okay,
Yeah.
so that you don't get dementia, so you don't have to end up in a wheelchair, you know, and so on. People have approached me when it comes to assisted living centers for expat seniors, not Emirati seniors, because the government, again, takes care of them. For nursing homes, I've been approached to set up developments. So there, you can see that this is definitely a trend coming up. Whether people are looking at it from a purely financial gain or whether this is something that is, you know, there's a purpose to the profit, but it's definitely it's starting. I feel the wave coming.
It's such a difficult question, such a difficult challenge to address globally. I think it's. The demographics that there are people having less and less children, of course, is going to be a challenge. Historically, it's always been children that take care of their parents. But this is happening less in the West. And
but I'll tell you why. You know, I don't know what the statistics are for, you know, dementia 100 years ago, you know, but today, whether it's lifestyle, whatever the reasons are, more and more parents are getting dementia. So it's becoming, I mean, I don't look at it as just, oh, it's a child's job to take care of their parents. Yes, it is, up until a certain point. Just the same way you look at a child and you can take great care of them at home. But nonetheless, they need to go to school because a teacher can only teach them certain things that you can't.
Sure.
And for parents, or let's say seniors, it's exactly the same. You can care for them at home up until a certain point, but after that, experts need to be able to give them the care that you can't. And it doesn't mean you don't love them, doesn't mean that you don't, have the respect for them, and that you do, it doesn't mean that you don't want them at home, but it's just that you realistically cannot provide what they need after
For
a certain
sure.
point.
I mean, of course, they need professional help when, just like a kindergarten is needed for children, you need, I guess, daycares and support for the elderly. But I think, reflecting on, I've lived now in Dubai for 18 years, and reflecting on the West, much of the West, where it's the default that you leave your home when you're 18, and then you start a family, and the children don't meet their grandparents more than during the festivities, and they have no active part in your life. I think that probably this was the beginning of the downfall of the West, and something that is very valuable in the East, where whether you're a man or a woman, you don't move out from your parents' home until you get married. And when you do get married, maybe you will build an extension to the house, and then you stick together like a clan. And this must be so good for your health. Don't you think that maybe the future of elderly care, especially in the West, is bringing people and families closer together and not institutionalizing care?
Yeah, for sure. So I think that that's what's happening with the locals. If you go to Saudi, the majority of the population are locals. They do have their extended family. But Dubai is unique in that we're all here alone.
Yeah.
We don't have our extended
As
family. We
expats,
don't have, our cousins and our nephews and nieces and grandparents, to help out. We're all here alone. And so I think that there is that added burden. And even when it comes to diagnosing, your parent with dementia, it happens even less because you're not really home. Everyone's here, like you said, to work. We're all here to build a life and to work and to raise our kids, and to do that. Like you said, we left our home to come here because of something. And then when you have a parent that has one child in Canada, one child in India, and the other child's in Dubai, where are they going to come to live? Dubai is the best place for the parent to come because it's the most convenient, So that's when I think that although you can look at the statistics and guess how many seniors there are, I think there are a lot more than what is actually recorded.
I think so too.
Yeah.
There's so many invisible people in the world in general that you just see what's directly in front of you, any person's life. I was speaking to a friend of mine who said, like, are there public buses in Dubai? It's like, what part of Dubai do you live in? Or like, what kind of a bubble do you live in where you don't know that there are public buses in Dubai?
Yeah.
So as some closing thoughts, if somebody calls their parents after listening to our conversation today, what would you suggest they ask them and talk about in terms of their care?
First and foremost is how they're feeling. And I'm not talking about the pain, the physical pain, the joint pain, and the body aches. I mean, really, if they feel that they are lonely, if they are okay, that's first and foremost. And second of all, what they would like their daily life to be like, because we tend not to ask them that, right? We tend to just assume it's what it should be based on what they were doing 10, 15 years ago. So yeah, those two questions I think will immediately indicate what they really need.
Good advice. Thank you so much for joining us today, Tamara.
Thank you very much. Yeah.